Welcome back to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. And now let's start with the first story. It's called Security Incident. I work as an engineer for a company that assigns me to various client projects. For one assignment, I was added to a project that wouldn't start for a few weeks, so I stayed focused on my current workload until things kicked off. A few days before the project launch, the external project lead sent me a zip file full of documentation, diagrams, requirements, technical specs. Nothing unusual. I skimmed it, moved on with my day, and thought nothing more of it. A couple of days later, I got an email from the external company scheduling manager. It simply said, "A document was sent to you that may have contained confidential information. Please delete the email." No file name, no explanation, no urgency, just a vague "please delete it." So I did. Deleted the zip file, replied to say it was gone, and asked them to resend a clean version if needed. Then I forgot about it. Out of nowhere, I get a call from the same scheduling manager. And let me tell you, she was the most condescending, passive-aggressive person I've ever dealt with. She launches into a 30-minute lecture. How that file never should have been sent. How this is very serious. And then the line that really set the tone. "I can't just take your word for it. I'm not just going to trust you because you say so. So I'm a security risk now." "Alright then," I said, completely calm. "You are absolutely right. I'll contact our security operations team immediately and report a formal security incident. They can coordinate with your SecOps team to do a full mail server scrub and verify the document is entirely gone. It's really the only way to be sure." Suddenly, the tone shift was instant. "Oh, no, that won't be necessary. It's fine. I believe you." She practically tripped over herself trying to shut it down. Because if this got escalated, it would have turned into a bureaucratic nightmare. Incident reports, compliance reviews, email server audits, and someone on their end definitely getting thrown under the bus. I politely reassured her, "I really don't mind escalating this. If it gives you peace of mind, I'm happy to involve our security teams." She replied very quickly, "Nope, I've got all the peace I need." And that was the end of it. The next story is called Sounding Sick. Years ago, I worked as a researcher in an inbound call center. I loved the job and the company was fantastic when I started. Supportive environment, fair policies and good people. Then 4 years in, we were bought out by one of those big international hack-and-slash corporations. The kind that buys profitable businesses, strips them for parts, slashes quality and costs, milks the brand until the reputation dies, and sells off the corpse for a tidy profit. Almost overnight the place turned into just another toxic, micromanaged hellhole. Before the buyout there was this performance bonus that could net you $1,000 in just 3 days if you really pushed. After the buyout, that same bonus became a $50 Boston Pizza gift card for one person, whoever won that week. Management actually seemed surprised when this failed to motivate anyone. Now, I was good at my job. I was the most productive person on the floor. Our contract said we got 15 days of PTO a year, no questions asked. Sick days, mental health days, personal stuff. Take it when you need to. The PTO didn't roll over, and there was no reward for not using it. So I always made sure to use mine, responsibly, with notice. Then came new management, and with them, the pressure campaign. Colleagues started telling me horror stories. Supervisors grilling them on the phone, saying things like, "You don't sound sick," or "Are you sure you can't just come in later?" It was intimidation, clear and simple. Next time I needed to take a day off, I called in as usual. "I won't be in tomorrow, not feeling well." The tone turned ice cold. "You don't sound sick, so we are doing this now." I replied, "Even doctors don't diagnose people over the phone." But they kept pushing. "Can you come in for the afternoon? You've been using a lot of sick days, you know." I'd had enough. I wasn't breaking the rules. I was following the ones they gave me. so I installed a call recording app on my phone. I live in a one-party consent jurisdiction, completely legal. When I called in again, as usual, they answered with the standard, "This call may be monitored or recorded for quality purposes." To which I replied, "Thanks, just so you know, this call may also be recorded or monitored for quality purposes." There was a weird pause, a nervous laugh, then back to the usual script. "So why are you calling in sick? You don't sound sick. I just put you down for half a day. You can call again if you're still not feeling well." I said no, repeated I was taking one full PTO day, per my contract. "Well, this might impact your position here. You're taking more PTO than other employees. We'll have to escalate this to HR. All standard scare tactics." When I returned, I was told, "Go see HR." Fine, let's go. I sit down with Art, the very picture of a corporate HR lapdog. He starts in immediately. "We are reviewing whether you're still a good fit here. You're taking a lot of time off. This could become a formal issue." I let him finish. Then I take out my phone and hit play. I let him hear the full recording of the call. The threats, the gaslighting, the bullying. All while I was using PTO I was contractually entitled to. Art's face dropped. He excused himself for 10 minutes. Came back flushed and tight-lipped. He tried to act like I'd broken some law. "This could be illegal. You don't tell her seriously enough. She thought you were joking." I reminded him, calmly, that I was a professional researcher and that one-party consent made it completely legal. I also made sure to point out that it didn't matter what she thought, because I did tell her, and I did record it, and the law was clear. He left again. Came back a few minutes later, redder than before. "You can go back to your desk." From that day on, every time I called in, the tone was different. Robotic, cold, professional. Like they were reading from a court-approved script. No more bullying, no more pushing. No more, "You don't sound sick." They got the message. Loud and crystal clear. The last story is called Not Sick. Back when I was managing a retail team, I got a call early one morning during a meeting with the company owner. I answered out of habit and put it on speaker, also out of habit. "Hi Danny, what's up?" "Hey boss, not feeling great, won't make it in today." Now, I'll admit, Danny sounded absolutely fine. Bright, chipper, not a cough in sight. "No worries, thanks for the heads up. Rest up. If you think you won't make it tomorrow, try to get a doctor's note, okay? You know the policy." "Yep, will do. Hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye." I turned back to the meeting and was about to get on with things when the boss, sitting across from me, raised an eyebrow. He didn't sound sick. What's even wrong with him? Your team mustn't respect you. Cue the mental break screeching. Now this was early days for me in that role. I'd worked my way up to manager and the team knew that. Danny wasn't our top performer, but he was a solid team player. Well liked by customers and crew and rarely called in sick. I was honestly a bit hurt by the jab about respect, especially since we'd just been in a meeting praising the team's stats. So I pushed back. "We are literally meeting about how well my team's doing. Danny's earned my trust. If he says he's sick, that's all I need. He doesn't need to fake a cough to prove it." Boss didn't love that answer, but we moved on. Or so I thought. Danny shows up for his next shift and the boss calls both of us into his office. Straight into the talk. "Sick days are for when you are truly unfit for work. We need to see commitment to the company. You didn't sound sick." Danny just smiles. Doesn't say a word. Rolls up his sleeve and reveals a freshly bandaged arm. Stitches. A lot of them. Sorry, I wasn't sure how I was meant to sound over the phone. Should I have faked a cough? Is there a minimum number of stitches for a sore throat? I lost it. Burst out laughing. To the boss's credit, he took it in stride, albeit a little sheepishly. Naturally, Danny told the team. So now every time someone called in sick and knew I had a meeting with the boss, they'd go full community theater. A few weeks later, we had one of our usual all hands. Barbecue in the car park, beers, quarterly updates. Midway through the announcements, The boss grins and says, "Now, special award time for best performance in a leading role while calling in sick." Cue laughter. Then he added, "Alright, cut it out now." He handled it well in the end. I stayed at that company for a few years. Knew the owner before I even joined. We didn't always agree, but he was generally a decent guy. Just had a few rough experiences with bad hires. And clearly hadn't had enough coffee that morning. Thanks for watching the video to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. Also, if you want to support me further, check out the channel membership or Patreon. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.